When it comes to the Earth's population, experts don't really agree on the number of human beings that this Earth could sustain. But one thing is for sure though, if we all try to really save the resources and minimize on waste and using resources, this planet can handle a lot more of us humans than it could if we just keep on wasting stuff like we have been. And I actually recently listened to an audiobook and some podcasts that were about the topic. It's really fascinating. So I just wanted to share a few things today with you where I have tried to cut back on just consuming more resources and just try to live a more sustainable life. The first thing is that I try to minimize plastics, and yeah, you may say plastics can be recycled. However, there's only a certain lifetime on how many times you can recycle plastic, plus plastic will always stay plastic. And we still have that problem that once it's created and once it's there, it's really never going away. Even after 1,000 years, it doesn't really biodegrade. And, you know, until we come up with better solutions with materials, and there's already a lot out there that is made out of like a cornstarch or something, like papers and wrapping stuff. Until then, just for everyday use, we could just try to use more glass. And the first thing I do is I buy milk in glasses like these. And as a matter of fact, because I like to eat clean and I actually get fresh raw milk from a farmer that is close to where I live, and I have saved a few of these bottles right here. It's always 1 liter, and so it's €1 for 1 liter. You have to check where you live, but if you're also interested in just getting better milk, I highly suggest trying to find maybe a farmer's market, and probably most likely they will not package their milk in those plastic or Tetra Pak cartons, which, you know, it's really bad for the environment, and also you don't want your milk to be in contact with plastic or Tetra Pak too much, because the aluminum or the plastic, there's still chemicals in there. And of course, also when you want to save any food and freeze it, I have these little glass containers. This is from IKEA. It does have a plastic lid. There's just not a really good solution yet to keep it airtight with other materials, and so these freeze really well. They go into the microwave if you want them to, and I always save food in here and it's perfect. Also, I always take my own coffee or my own tea. If I did go to a coffee shop, which I never do, but my husband does, you can take a cup easily and they will gladly fill it into your own cup that you bring from home, and that way you just don't have to always have a paper cup, or even worse, a plastic cup that you then have to throw away. Plus it's airtight, which is really cool. It doesn't spill. I can put it in my bag and in my car and take it with me, and I don't have to be afraid that it's gonna spill or anything. When I buy groceries, I try to buy produce that is not packed in plastic. So I try to buy the loose kind, and I take these bags here. These are mesh bags. You can make them yourself, but these are really cool because they're lightweight, so they don't really weigh a lot. And they're see-through, so the cash register person can actually look through and see that number that is on the fruit or the vegetables. I actually also use this as a nut milk bag sometimes. It works fine. It's not as fine as a cheesecloth, but you could use these for lots of different things. You could also use them as a laundry, you know, to wash socks or small little things that I'm going to show you in just a minute here. Okay, let's stay with the kitchen just a little bit. Instead of just regular Ziploc bags, I got a few of these here. I have a whole set. These are extremely sturdy silicone baggies, and you could just open them like that. They don't open easily, but they're very tight, and you could actually put liquids in there and it doesn't really spill. These are very sturdy. You can put them in the dishwasher. You could put them in like hot water if you wanted to heat something, like if you had soup or sauces that you have saved from your cooking. You could put this in there, heat it up. You could put it in the microwave if you wanted to, and you could freeze it. These are awesome. It's worth it to invest in the more expensive ones because they are just so nice and sturdy. And so then, you know, this is how you close it. It's nicely sealed, and I can use these over and over again. I use this for my bread. I bake my own bread, which is my next point. I bake my own bread, and I know that not everyone has time for that. I bake my own bread, and it's so easy. It's just rye flour, salt, and my homemade sourdough that I just keep using over and over again. And it basically costs me just the flour, and of course the electricity to bake it in the oven. Whenever I don't have time to bake my bread, which it hasn't been like that for months, because I always bake one big loaf and then I cut it into quarters, and I will put a quarter in this bag, and this bread that I make is just like fresh. You freeze it and then you take it out of the freezer. Don't cut it before you freeze. And when I take it out, it is like literally fresh, like I just baked it today. When I do have to go to the bakery though, I again use my mesh bag and I ask them just to put whatever I buy in the bakery in one of these baggies right here, or I could use one of those if it's something that is more like sticky or something, but I only buy bread or something like that in the bakery, and these work perfectly for that. Another thing I don't buy anymore for the kitchen, and I am a foodie and I love to bake, is baking paper. And what I have is these mats right here. This one happens to have a hole because I've used it so much, but I just put this on my baking sheet and it works so well, and I can just wash it afterwards. I bake bread and cake on here and put my homemade granola, and I just love that I can use this over and over, and it's not as nasty, I think, as baking paper, which sometimes just gets soaked through. And I just really feel good because I don't have to toss it. I can use it over and over again. And of course, it also saves me money in the long run because I never have to buy baking paper again. Also, when I go to the deli, we have a local meat market here and I love what they have. When we buy cheese or lunch meat, I just bring my container. I ask them to weigh it, and then after they weigh it, put it into my glass container. I could just take it home, put it in the fridge directly. This is airtight, and that way they don't have to pack it in any paper. It saves them the paper, and it saves me the trash that I don't have then to throw away. Plus, it really stays fresh in here anyway. Okay, let's move on to personal hygiene. The first thing I want to talk about for you ladies out there is makeup remover pads. So I have only been using either coconut oil, and when I have coconut oil, just take a little bit, which, usually it's solid unless it's really hot. It's solid. I just rub it on my face and on my eyes, and then I use one of these reusable, washable, it's like made of bamboo, cotton, bamboo wipes, and I'll just wipe my eyes, my face, and then afterwards I will wash my face with soap and water. And it does the job just fine. And I've had these for a couple of years. I ordered 10 of these, but honestly, I usually just use 2. I put them on kind of the heater and then they get dry within just an hour, and I can use them over and over again. And whenever I wash these, which they actually get cleaner if you just wash them by hand, right after I use them, I just rub them with a bit of soap and I just kind of do this. I rub it, I just try to get it all out, and all the mascara and eyeliner, this is just from yesterday. I just washed it and it's clean. And if I wanted to wash it in the washer, I'd take my nifty little mesh bag here and I'll put all these little things in there, and then the bag gets washed and my little cotton thing gets washed. Okay, next up, this is for the ladies also. I have not been using tampons or throwaway pads for I don't know how many years. It's been a few years. And so I have different ones. And if you have tried menstrual cups and you felt like they're not for you or they did not work, it probably was because you didn't have the right one. Now, I have one here that is very soft. This is just kind of for a normal day. And then I have one here that is a lot more firm. And this is a sports menstrual cup. It stays put better when you move a lot. So I go work out every day. I go for lots of runs. I ride the bike. I go to the gym. I do body weight workouts. And so this works really well for kind of sporty days. And there's different sizes. You just kind of have to try out different brands. It might take you a few tries of trying out until you find the one that is perfect for you, because everyone has a different body. And it took me a while. I think I tried 5 different ones until I found the one that worked the very best for me. And using menstrual cups has huge advantages. Number one, you don't put bleach inside of your body, because all those cotton products are bleached and there's chemicals in there. They happen in like in a factory produced with chemicals. Plus, they don't really work that well. Like a tampon, it doesn't really soak up a lot of liquid. This holds a lot more, Plus, okay, for those of you who don't want TMI, you might want to skip just a bit, but it is actually really healthy just to kind of see the consistency, because you can see if you have any clotting, like a lot of clotting. It's just a good thing to actually see what's happening in your body and what your body is shedding. To me, it's not gross to talk about those things because this is a normal part of life, and this is just a process my body goes through, and I'm really grateful that my body does this because it cleanses me every month, and just it's part of being a woman. And then just on days of heavy bleeding or just to supplement, I have these pads here, and these are also made of bamboo, and I have lots of these, and I just use these, throw them in the washer, and it's perfect. And lastly, and I shared this in a previous video, I don't really use shower gel anymore or shampoo. I have been using just a natural soap, and this is just happens to be just like an orange natural soap, and it is packaged in paper, and I just use the soap for my hair, I use it for my face, I use it for my body. It cleans perfectly and it works just fine. Here's the thing. Your skin really reflects what's going on the inside of your body. And so when I had some problems with skin issues, eventually I realized it's not a matter of what I put on my skin. It's a lot more a matter of what I put into my body and the way I live my life. I can say honestly, my body has never been balanced better than it has been in the past few months. I had my thyroid tested last year, and it wasn't real high. It was just kind of slightly high. It was like 2.4, the TSH level. And not bad, but it's better if it's lower because then your thyroid just works a little bit more efficiently. And so all I did was take some kelp, kelp pills, kelp tablets every day, supplements. I started out with one time 50 milligrams per day, and it went from 2.4 to 1.8. And I started taking 2 50 milligram doses, and it went down again. So it depends on where you live. What I read is that I live in Germany, and so that the soils here in Germany are naturally very low in iodine because, also I don't have an ocean anywhere near me. I live in southern Germany, which is like pretty far away from any ocean. It's like the closest one is like 6 or 7 hours away. So taking more iodine has helped my thyroid. Sometimes it can be so easy. And ever since I've been taking just the kelp with the iodine, I feel my skin is different. My skin just feels more supple. I just want to encourage you, if you do have skin issues and you have spent a lot of money in the past on products, on cosmetics and products and creams, I personally believe we don't need to spend a lot of money on all those things. It's really just about using water and something that gets, dirt off your skin, and maybe something that makes you smell a little bit more pleasant. But basically, even smells, it's not like you're dirty and it's awkward, but it's a normal part of your life and body, and water does most of the job. In those cases where water is just not quite enough, I think soap, for me, soap is enough. I'm all about natural, as little chemicals as possible and as few products as possible. So I hope you have enjoyed this video today. Give it a thumbs up if you loved it, and share it with a friend if you think it's valuable to them. If you have not subscribed yet, please do. I would love to have you back. I do hope to see you soon. Until next time, stay blessed, stay healthy, and try to minimize all that crap. Bye.